Hey, how you doing? This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. On today's video, I'm going to give you a brief history of the Vicla and how it came to be. I'm also going to go into brief detail of how I built my bike. Now, why do I call it a Vicla and not a Cholo style? Well, Vicla is the word that the Mexicans came up with. Why do I say Mexicans and not Spanish? Well, they're the ones that created it. You see, the word Vicla is slang for bicycle, and that's what they call these bikes. When I say Mexicans, it's actually Chicanos. Chicanos are Mexican Americans born in the States. That's what is referred to as Chicanos. Cholo is an individual, such as if you say trucker or cowboy. Cholo is a specific type of individual within the Mexican community. So what is the history of the Vicla? The Vicla started, as I said, in California back in the 60s. Stock motorcycles were torn apart and customized to the rider's vision of what he wanted to ride. Change out the exhaust, handlebars, seat, front end, you name it. The motorcycle would take a new life as a stripped down chopper, or go to the other end of the spectrum and make a Vicla. The foundation of a Vicla style motorcycle is a Harley Davidson, for the most part, though there are other brands. The most popular Harley models used to customized into a Vicla are Road Kings and Heritage Softails. And I'd say the Deluxe is probably the preferred model these days. Lowrider motorcycle, Chicano style, gangster style, and Vicla are all names used to describe the same motorcycles as well as Cholo. A Vicla is not just a customized motorcycle. Yes, a Vicla stands out from a stark Harley with its candy-colored metal flake paint, complex hand-engraved chrome parts, and detailed airbrush murals, but it's much more than that. The motorcycle is a reflection of the Chicano pride, passion, craftsmanship, culture, community, and brotherhood. The builders of these Viclas are expressing their pride in their heritage as Mexican Americans with their motorcycles, creating works of art that can be ridden as a daily ride. Again, I'm not sure if you guys are into lowrider or into cars, period, but the lowrider car is something that has hours upon hours upon hours of work put into them. And that's pretty much how these bikes are built. You can build one in a short period of time. I did it, but I'll tell you what, you're never finished. I'm on year 5 and I'm still adding to it. And I'm going to show you here in a minute what I started out with, what I built, and 4 years later how it has changed from what I built in the beginning. So let's show you the bike. let's start from the beginning. In November of 2019, I started searching for a Softail Deluxe that I knew I wanted to turn into a Vicla. In December, just a month later, I found this bike. It was in a sad state, sitting in a corner of a used car lot. I made the deal and brought it home. Immediately I started ordering parts because I knew I wanted to turn it into a Vicla. I cleaned it up and started taking parts off of it. I wanted to make sure that the engine was sound, so I rode it in this condition, putting a few miles on it. Just after New Year's, I started to tear down. The first thing I did was find a painter. I negotiated the painter to have the bike completed in 3 weeks. I had to give him a tip to make sure that he stuck to that date. If he was late, there would be no tip, and he knew this. Having dealt with painters before, I knew that they never give you the real date when the bike is going to be completed. I wanted to go to Bike Week that year in Daytona, and that was just 2 months away, actually less. So the clock was ticking. I ordered parts immediately while I was tearing down the bike. I took care of the bigger projects first, installing the fender, polishing all the chrome, dealing with the electrics, and just cleaning up an old bike. I couldn't afford to do everything that I wanted to, so I did the most important. With the exception of the paint, I did everything myself. The day came when the bike was ready, and all I had to do was connect the fuel line to the tank. Well, wouldn't you know it, lo and behold, that was the very last thing I had to do. And the quick connect on the tank decided to take a crap. Well, I had to take it out and put a new one in. I tried to do it the easy way, but as we all know, that mostly doesn't work. So the guys at the Harley dealer were shocked when I was back the other day buying the exact piece. And I told them, a job so nice you have to do it twice. They couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, I had to open up the tank, disconnect the hose from the fuel pump, something I didn't want to do. There was a mess of gas everywhere because I already had put gas in the bike. These have that cross line that goes underneath the frame in the front of the tank. Anyway, that was the last piece. I connected that hose, started the bike up, and the rest is history. As you can tell, this is before I had YouTube. That's why I only have pictures of the build. But soon enough, you will see the video of what it's like today. Now, as you can see, we are headed to Daytona. The bike performed flawlessly. We made it all the way to Key West, Daytona Beach Bike Week. We had a blast. But there is so much more to come to this bike, which I'll be showing you here shortly. So let's just take a look at it. So what came next? Actually, a 2009 Harley Davidson Electric Glide. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a few bikes in the garage. I had been riding a 1986 Honda Goldwing that I had customized, and it had some years on it. So it was time to let that go. And before I bought the Electric Glide, I was actually caught between buying a Goldwing or the Harley. With all my family members buying Harleys, I thought it was the right choice for me. As with all my bikes, it was just 3 months later, again in January, 2 months before Daytona, that I tore it down. That bike is basically brand new. It's the one I use for the long haul, so it has to be in tip-top shape. I put a cam in it, and later on I decided that I wanted a built engine. I sent it to a master engine builder, and that bike rips. But that's a story for another day. Let's continue on with the Vicla. Well, I knew what I wanted to do next with the bike, and that was wheels and a seat. It was 2021, so the supply chain was in bad shape. The seat wasn't a problem. I got a Mustang solo seat with a backrest. Why a backrest? Well, when you're on the highway doing about 80-85, that wind pushes you. And on long trips, you'll be exhausted without a fairing. Next was the wheels. I ordered the wheels, and it took them months to get them to me. When I finally got them 4 months later, the bike was coming together as I had envisioned it. Okay, let's go through the obvious upgrades as the bike sits today. Mustang solo seat with a backrest. The backrest is currently off. It slides in and out easily when needed. Harley Davidson vintage custom tank emblem. Kuryakyn velocity stack air cleaner. I chose it because I wanted a minimalist air cleaner to accentuate the engine. Visors on all 3 lights, including the signal lights. Tri-bars on the auxiliary lights, as well as laminated red for accent. The V-bar that you see under the headlight is a obsolete item by V-Twin Manufacturing, highly sought after. The headlight has an LED bulb on it. I wanted that vintage look. I like the Harley Davidson emblem on it. The wheels, 21-inch front, gold spoke, chrome rim, DNA. Low profile, white wall tires. Handlebars, LA choppers, 14-inch with 6-inch risers. All controls and levers are chrome, including the hand grips, which I found on Amazon, one of the few items I bought from Amazon. Foot controls are stock with the exception of the highway pegs. I like the stock foot controls. Exhaust is Samson, 42-inch. My saddlebag, which I bought on Amazon but I custom mounted. It is on a quick release where the sissy bar used to mount. So the bag comes on and off easily, but it's always on. Taillight tombstone with custom dynamics, LED and flashers. The signal light lenses are custom Kraft, not cheap, but that's all that was out back then. There was nothing else available. Kuryakyn swing arm chrome cover. JP Cycle fender rack. I don't know what brand it is. My Bronx Brothers plaque. Custom made out of New Mexico. Rear cylinder. Oil pressure gauge from Arlen Ness. That little booger gets hot. Dash extension. Chrome. Tachometer. Speedometer. Dakota Digital. It has all the colors of the rainbow. You can put the needle one color and the back another color, and it's a bunch of colors, and it has a lot of information. Chrome details on the engine, lots of them. The engine was detail polished by hand. The mirrors are Dirtbag out of California. The visors on the mirrors are from eBay for hot rods. In red. They sell them in different colors. I believe that's a 4-inch, 3-inch mirror. The rear fender Pickard. The V-bar in the back. You can also see that, just like the front. I was lucky to purchase that early on. When I was doing my research, I saw one guy had that bar. I asked him, and I do believe I bought the last one because it was hard to find. The floorboards, like I said, are Harley Davidson, as well as the brake pedal. I like that look. And that is the bike as it sits today. If money was no option, what changes would I make today? Well, I would like to get the paint done. I would like to add some color to it. Some gold pinstriping to highlight the wheels, as well as some silver to highlight the chrome. Probably some panel work. There's a few little odds and ends of chrome pieces that I still need to get. Like I said, the list is never ending. When you have a Vicla, you always see areas for improvement. So what is the difference between a West Coast Vicla and an East Coast Vicla? Well, East Coast, we're not into the fender rails. We're not into the toolbox. We're not into the cheese grater. And we're also not into the siren. Other than that, I'd say things are pretty similar. Now, I believe on the West Coast they have better access to the murals and panel paint jobs than we do on the East Coast. I will say I really like that look, and it's something I'm hoping to get on my bike, is a nice paint job. But as I stated previously, that's something that's down the road. Now let it be said, I have mad respect for the Chicanos for creating the Vicla. Something that has taken years to develop and is now known worldwide. If you think about it, countries like Japan, Australia, England, Malaysia, New Zealand, these bikes are popular worldwide. And it's because of the Chicanos' dedication, their craftsmanship, their love for the bike that has made it what it is today. So to them I say, bien hecho vatos. Translation, well done my friends. I have been sweating these Viclas since about 2015. Fell in love with them from the moment I saw the first one and knew I wanted to build one. And I will say this, I currently have 8 motorcycles in my garage. This is the only motorcycle that my wife has gone into the garage, looked around, and said, "That's the nicest bike here." I've been riding for 45 years. She and I have been together for 36. This is the first and only motorcycle she has ever complimented or said she liked. Well, my people, if you have any questions, comments, or complaints, feel free to write them down in the comments. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. And I really would appreciate it if everyone gave the video a thumbs up. That really helps me out. Now, if this is your first time here, this is the kind of content I create. I have about 8 bikes. So usually I highlight one of my bikes, I work on my bikes, show that a lot, I do gear reviews, part installations, we do tour reviews of some really cool areas. Just last month we were in the Smoky Mountains, where we went to Tail of the Dragon, Cherahalla Skyway. We went over to Pigeon Forge and stayed at a really cool place. Go back into my videos and check that one out. Every year we go to Daytona Beach Bike Week. We stay in Key West. We do a long summer ride each year as well. Here in a couple of weeks we're going to be taking a ride within the state, but nevertheless a very nice ride. So, if this is the kind of stuff you like to watch, you're in the right place. Like I said, my name is Richie and I'm glad you're here. So with that, you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads. And I will catch you on the next one. Adios.